watching First Coast News on your side at 11.
And first at 11 tonight, a winter storm blanketing much of the southeast tonight. Thank you for staying up with us. I'm Anthony Alston.
I'm Heather Crawford. So parts of the First Coast already seeing some of the impact. This is a live look right here at snow covering the roads along Florida's Panhandle tonight. And
back here on the First Coast, we have live team coverage for you across southeast Georgia and here in Jacksonville. Before we check in with our crews tonight, we want to check with meteorologist Ross Muma.
So, Ross, the worst of our wintry weather is going to happen overnight, but then the impacts are going to still go into the morning hours, right?
Yeah, so the majority of the precipitation will start to occur after midnight tonight, the wintry precipitation. It should exit by about 7 to 8 a.m., but we're still going to feel those impacts through really mid-morning for a lot of us tomorrow. So this is what we're looking at on the radar right now. Across much of Duval County, Jacksonville, and the southern parts of the First Coast, we have just continued to see a very cold, miserable-like rain, whereas further to the north, we have seen snowfall for the last several hours even up towards Pierce, Northern Ware, Brantley counties. And now that transition from a snow to rain and snow mix, freezing rain, is gradually making its way further south. So winter storm warning in effect for nearly all of us besides St. John's and eastern Putnam County. If you're in the winter weather advisory in those locations, that means you're not expected to see as nearly significant impacts, whereas if you're in the pink, you are expected to see at least some level of wintry precipitation that could cause some travel issues and impacts here overnight and through the first half of your day tomorrow. Temperatures are going to be a key part of this tonight and tomorrow morning. We're down to 32 in both, really St. Simons Island, Brunswick, and Lake City. So freezing precipitation is possible to fall, and also rain could freeze on the surface, whereas Jacksonville still at 33 degrees, so no freezing is occurring just yet. But pretty stiff northerly wind, 10 to 15, even 20 miles per hour. Wind chills outside right now are frigid. It feels like the mid-20s, even a real feel of 21 degrees at St. Simons Island right now. So it is bitterly, bitterly cold, and here is the mess that is moving in across inland southeast Georgia and the Okeechobee. It was primarily snow up towards Waycross, now a mix of a rain and snow, and that is gradually making its way further and further south. Still just a very cold rain down for Jacksonville, but that winter precipitation will head toward us. We'll talk about it in timeout, the latest on this coming up.
All right, Ross, thank you. So let's begin our team coverage now in Waycross, Georgia, where people there, as Ross said, have seen a mix of winter weather today. Riley Phillips joins us live from there tonight. So Riley, in your live shots earlier, we saw snow. It looks like it's still snowing out there tonight.
So this is actually sleeting now. Yeah, we saw the snow earlier. That was about 3 hours ago. That has stopped, and it's been sleeting, I would say, steadily for the last hour and a half. So that's what we're dealing with here right now. The ice is also starting to accumulate on the grass. The pavement's getting a little slippery. So far, nothing's really sticking to the roads, though. But you can see behind me, the roads are still wet, which we know is not great because that can make for some dangerous driving conditions if that water does freeze. This is what the snow looked like earlier. We caught up with some people who were making some running some last minute errands, and they were just so excited to walk out of the store, see the snow. One boy started making snowballs to throw at his family. We also caught up with a woman from Jacksonville who just happened to be in Waycross to visit family during all of this.
We're in a snow globe. Glad I can hit him with a snowball.
This is insane. I'm so happy. My kids, they're happy. This is awesome.
And it does appear that people are taking emergency officials' advice and staying off the roads. Really haven't seen much traffic out here for the last hour or so, so that's good news. If you do need a place to go tonight to get warm, the City of Waycross Police Department is opening up their courtroom for people to take shelter from the cold. Live in Waycross, Riley Phillips, First Coast News on your side.
Thank you, Riley. We want to go to Glenn County now. The city of Brunswick will be closed, including schools, courts, and offices. Our Christina Burgess is joining us live in Brunswick tonight. And Christina, it's not snowing just yet, but the rain hasn't stopped falling, although I do see some white stuff there. Oh, you got a snowball.
I was just about to tell you guys that the rain, freezing rain, has been nonstop for about the last 6 hours. And even behind me, there's a little bit of ice that's been sticking to the bushes and also the grass. And it snowed, a little bit of snow flurries earlier today around 7:30. And the ice, like I said, sticking to the grass. A gentleman ran over. This is some ice he collected from the grass and also covering his car. And he was like, you know, I have to give you this little ice snowball mixture. So I just had to show you guys what it's looking like right here in Glenn County. Earlier, I did speak with the Glenn County Commissioner who told me that, you know, because South Georgia does not see weather like this, they are closing the county offices and schools tomorrow because they want people to stay off the roads, stay inside, stay warm, and stay safe. And again, I had the chance also to speak with residents out here in Brunswick who told me, you know, they haven't seen snow here since 1989. They're going to sleep tonight and they're telling me that they hope they wake up to some snow outside their door.
I know there's no school tomorrow, so the kids, and you know, like I said, we're supposedly getting like a mixture of precipitation. So if we get that snow and it's cold enough and it stays on the ground, the kids are going to have a ball with that. They really are, because we did when I was younger. So I think they're really going to enjoy it.
And a GDOT spokesperson who I talked to earlier told me that they have been brining the roads since Sunday night. And, you know, they also make sure to clear and brine roads on critical routes. Now, critical routes are routes that emergency personnel would be going to the hospital, back to an emergency, fire stations, back and forth. So those roads also remain clear. And they also keep a careful eye out on the bridges as well, because they also tend to get icy. And again, as you guys can see, the ice, it's kind of hitting my jacket, hitting me, and we were able to get a nice little ice ball out here in Brunswick. Reporting live in Brunswick, Christina Burgess, First Coast News, on your side.
All right, let's head back to Florida and go to the airport. Right now, Jacksonville International Airport is closed for the night and more than 100 flights canceled due to the weather. According to airport officials, this is the first time the airport has closed in about 5 years or more. Our Renata DiGregorio is joining us from JAX at the airport, where a traffic barrier is actually set up right now, stopping people from driving up to the departures lane.
This is something you don't see often. Jacksonville International Airport is quiet and empty. If you had a flight on Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, airline officials say that you need to contact your airline. With a sign full of red for canceled flights Tuesday evening, families like the Blunts are grateful their loved ones made it home to Jacksonville just in time.
It's her first time home in 2 years.
Kiki Blunt's daughter, Charisma Malone,
She's been texting me all day, you know, in the countdown. So yes, I can't wait.
hasn't seen her family in the 2 years she's been serving in the Air Force in the UK. If her flight had been scheduled to arrive 2 hours later, she would have had to wait to see her family because of the airport closing at 8 p.m. Tuesday.
Yes, this Charisma.
More than 100 flights were canceled at the airport as of Tuesday night due to the airport closure, according to FlightAware. Passengers were nearly as surprised about the airport closing as they were about the weather.
It definitely don't give you Florida vibe.
Me siento un poco extraña
I feel a little weird because it's not something that happens all the time.
Families say they feel for passengers who can't get home.
Although you may be mad that, you know, you're going to have to catch another flight, but what if you was in the air? So it's better safe than sorry.
Those whose flights arrived right before the airport's closure are grateful to finally be with the people who matter most.
It feels really good. The flight was long, but I'm here and I made it, and I'm glad to see my family.
The airport is set to open at noon on Wednesday. From JAX, Renata DiGregorio, First Coast News, on your side.
Glad she made it just in time. Well, out of the 4 largest districts in Northeast Florida, St. Johns County is the only one that plans to open tomorrow. The others, Duval, Clay, and Nassau County Public School Districts, will all be closed tomorrow. And there are a lot of other districts canceling school due to the weather tomorrow. We have those scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now. And for an up-to-date list of closures sent straight to your phone, text the word closure to the number on your screen, 904-633-2402. We'll send it straight to you.
And if you don't have it yet, now's a good time to download the First Coast News app. You can take our forecast with you and know how the winter storm will impact your neighborhood. And make sure you have notifications turned on for real-time alerts and watches and warnings. An unprecedented snowstorm slamming the south. That's what they're saying. And tonight, we're going to take you across the region where several inches of snow still falling at this hour.
And you've heard of snowmen, but have you heard of sleet men? We're going to bring it to you live in Waycross coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Snow and sleet across the areas to our north. Here in downtown Jacksonville, it has been a cold, blustery, rainy night when we could expect that transition over to wintry precipitation. We'll talk about that here coming up.